I recently received this email from Empire Flippers: 7 YouTube businesses for sale. So I wanted to take a look at these YouTube businesses for sale and also see if there's anything we could take away or learn or discuss about YouTube as a business model from these business listings. Now, on that note, here's the real quick plug. If you're interested in acquiring an established and profitable online business, you got to check out the Acumen Wire. It's a newsletter I run where every week I send out a handful of online businesses, established and profitable online businesses that were recently listed for sale. And I focus on businesses that are likely to stand the test of time going forward and also likely to be SBA eligible as well. So, yes, if you're interested in buying an online business, head on over to acumenwire.com. Put in your email right here, click the subscribe button, and then confirm your subscription, and boom, you will get the emails that I send out each week, including usually 3 businesses that were recently listed for sale that might be of interest to you and are likely of interest to me because, well, they meet my high kind of threshold for quality or pre-vetting before I actually explore the businesses further. So on that note, let's head back to my email here. And interestingly enough, regarding Empire Flippers, I am actually under LOI now to acquire a business that Empire Flippers has listed for sale. And I actually included that business in the Acumen Wire way back in March. The business first came up for sale in March. I was a little late on actually finding it. They got an offer pretty quick, and I kind of saw it in the pending sold. And then after several weeks, I circled back to the broker reached out to the seller. The current buyer was having an issue, yada, yada, yada. And well, anyways, now I'm happy to announce that months later, we are actually in the due diligence phase. So yeah, I'm very excited about that. But enough about that acquisition that I've got, literally in the works right now. I was on a call with the broker and the seller this morning and then doing some due diligence. And after I'm done recording this, I'll go back to the due diligence. Let's talk about these YouTube businesses for sale. And the first thing I want to touch on here is the risks associated with a YouTube business. And there's 2 of them. The first one being, and mind you, I shouldn't say that this exhaustive list. It's not, there's only 2 risks you have to worry about with the YouTube business. There's multiple risks, but the 2 big ones are, number 1, the channel or platform risk. Okay, so if you've been kind of in the online business world for some time, you probably know what I'm talking about here, and you've certainly heard about Google updates, or maybe you've looked into blogging as a business, or maybe you've just heard about Google updates. Well, that all kind of circles back into channel risk. And that really means that the business is dependent on one channel to exist. So for, the last 15 years, there's been a lot of talk about blogs and blogging as a business. And that, in the last 5 years has really kind of dwindled down as blogging has become an outdated medium. But in the blogging as a business or content website space, your channel risk is the Google search algorithm. And every so often, sometimes it's like every month, sometimes it's every few years, right? We know how that updates kind of come in waves. There'll be a bunch of updates, over 1 year, and then the next year or 2, there might not be anything. Anyways, there's these Google updates that update the search results in a business, a content business that's, mind you, dependent on the Google search engine, gets caught in these algorithm updates, and Google ultimately says, hey, your site and your content is no longer worthy of being at the top. Boom, they reshuffle you around. You're in the back, you lose your traffic, and the business can take a substantial hit, damn near going to zero overnight. Well, that's the risk in the blog and content website space, but the same risk exists in a YouTube business model. And that is, hey, an algorithm update happens in YouTube search, and boom, you're no longer found anymore. Now, what I will say with YouTube as a business model or YouTube content, kind of in the YouTube search, not necessarily the business model, I'm kind of overlapping terms here, but I will say this regarding YouTube and channel risk is I feel like it's a lot more minimal than what it is with Google, because YouTube is so dependent now on actual user signals, and people are logged into it, that YouTube is pretty good at getting the right content up initially, such that they're not as likely to filter the content and whack it back down, right? So if users are initially, sending good signals, it's likely to be more robust. So higher placement in YouTube search is more robust than higher placement in Google, in my opinion. But still, you have to be conscious of the channel risk with a YouTube business model. The other risk is key man risk, right? So if you are looking at a YouTube channel and there's a single person that's in all the videos, well, how attached to that persona is the audience? And will you be able to capture and maintain it going forward with a different creator? Right now, ideally, the best model would be a faceless YouTube channel where anybody could be there, right? And it doesn't matter. There's no face. Anybody could be the voiceover, is what I'm saying. Second to that would be a channel that has multiple hosts or multiple creators behind it, likely that are paid and staff members. So that way you could keep working for them. And then most risky is going to be, hey, I'm trying to sell you my Corey eBiz channel here, and you have to assume the persona of eBiz Corey. Now, I have seen, one creator channels that I think would work with any creator. For example, I recall seeing a channel that did WordPress tutorials, and I think that anybody could jump in there and start making the WordPress tutorials with a little bit of training and not so much have to worry about the persona risk. But if you have a highly engaging person behind it and a person that the audience really follows, it is difficult to replace them. Okay, so with that, we just covered the risks. Before we review these here, let's just talk about the keys to success. I just opened up my notepad so you can see it all right here. I meant to click on this little teleprompter thing that you couldn't have seen where I had these pasted. But anyways, here they are. First thing, key to success is actually having engaging videos that add value. All right, so little, like TikTok dance style stuff that is just kind of, one-off trends isn't really going to be successful long term, because so much of the kind of going viral and catching on to the trends is not systematic. You could make an argument that it is, and well, you have to account for that in your own business search. But for me, I'm not staying on top of trends, right? I want stuff that's actually engaging, value added, and evergreen. And then getting the audience off YouTube. So what I'm talking about here is minimizing your channel risk, right? Getting the audience to your website, an email newsletter, your Instagram, something else. So you capture your audience on YouTube, take them to somewhere else, so that if YouTube determines you're no longer worth being shown in their search results, you still have it on another platform, or if YouTube just becomes obsolete, something like that. And finally, a product. I don't like media as a business. I know there's a lot of people out there that will disagree with me because, hey, media effectively can have like a 99% margin. You publish content, you have no cost of goods sold, and boom, you just make money from it. Well, yeah, that's good, but with a media business, you are highly susceptible to channel risk and also competition, since the cost of creating content is essentially zero. I like to have a product that people are buying, right? They're giving me their money, they're giving me their payment information. We can implement a sales process to upsell them. We can have upsells built into the initial product funnel. And also, the product is something that people like to use, they review, and that product and that brand exists outside of just media channels. So if I were to acquire a YouTube business, I would be very focused on these three things. Now, let's jump into the 7 that we have here. And I am not going to go through and read them all line by line, because I think that would take a long time, but I'm going to highlight some details here. So the first one that we have, making $5,800 a month, asking $226K for it. It was launched in March 2015. It's faceless. It covers popular songs and tutorials using a specific instrument. Okay, it's got 10 channels. Well, talking about this here, right? First thing that stands out is having been established since March 2015 is quite a bit of time, particularly in the YouTube world and online business world. That's 9 years. You may have heard about the Lindy effect, and that's basically a statistical heuristic or principle that suggests that anything or something will last going forward as long as it has been around. So this thing has been around for 9 years. It'll last substantially in the same form another 9 years going forward. We would say this is a very Lindy online business, right? Compared to some of the others I'm sure that we'll see here. And I have not looked at these, but I'm sure we're going to see some of these that are pretty new. That's just kind of the law of putting 7 YouTube businesses into an email. We're going to see some that are very new. This one has got to be quite old, if not the oldest one in the list. Going back to my keys to success, I like that it covers tutorials because that's engaging and value added content, right? And then building on that, maybe you could have more advanced tutorials, courses as a product. Right? It doesn't say that this thing has any courses, but I think that this really segues itself into that. So this one seems pretty interesting here so far, and maybe that's why they put this one first on the list. Next up, $2,800 a month, asking $94,000 for it here. Yeah, launched in March 2021, just a little over 3 years ago. This one makes money from Mediavine and then AdSense / YouTube. Okay, so reading between the lines on this one here, and the fact they have display advertising up here, this is fundamentally a blog with, probably a few low grade videos stuck up on YouTube that make a little bit of money. Can't really say there's much positive that I see in this one. Next one, created in February 2023. I'm assuming this is a typo. Yeah, definitely a typo here. So if we did the math on this, 224,000 divided by 30, what is this? This thing's making about 8,000 a month? Maybe 7,000? Yeah, 7,000. Actually, there should be a 7 right here. 7471 times 30 would work out to about that number. So this is making 7,000 a month-ish. Faceless channel focuses on news regarding public figures and celebrities. It is very well niched down to a highly reputable format in a team of writers, editors, and voiceover artists. Currently creates 30 videos per month and has 20 million views. Okay, so here you are truly in the content space, and you got to churn out this content quite regularly. Props to them for getting this thing to $7,400 a month in just a little over a year. That's really impressive. Yeah, really impressive on that. But geez, why are they selling it, right? Seems like they've got this down. Just keep on it and go. I mean, just the fact that it's only been around since 2023, and I'm not really seeing any way that you could productize it. I don't know, maybe you could sell Donald Trump shirts around it if he's the public figure. I have no idea at all, but he could be a public figure you could make videos around. Yeah, I don't really know. I don't really see a way of making products amongst it. Next one, since March 2018, monetized via AdSense. So that's YouTube's in-video ads, entertainment content related to celebrities and pop culture. 4 channels. 2 of the larger channels target English-speaking audiences. The 2 smaller, target non-English speaking. Okay, so the fact that it's been around since 2018 is impressive. I like that. It's making a good amount there. It didn't say if these were faceless or not. Yeah, it didn't say if these were faceless. And I have to say that knowing this broker, and obviously they know what they're working with, and based on the prior examples, if they were faceless, they'd likely include that in here. Right? So that's one thing to certainly find out about. Let's assume they're not faceless, but at best they're faceless. The fact that they're targeting non-English languages is interesting and good. I've seen a lot of businesses that kind of fall into these weird niche markets of non-English speakers because the English-speaking market, particularly developed nations speaking English, so the US, UK, New Zealand, Australia, and maybe some other countries in Europe, they're really exploited when it comes to marketing. A lot of people are trying to market and reach those audiences where a lot of times people overlook non-English speakers and non-developed English-speaking countries as markets, but the markets are huge and incredibly lucrative and easy to tap into. All right, so there may be some opportunity here. If you're interested in acquiring a YouTube business, this one, in my opinion, is probably worth a look. But then, well, you also kind of run into the fact that, how do you turn entertainment content into a product? What do you have, what do you have to do behind that to make a product and get your audience off YouTube? I don't have any ideas for how that's doable without knowing more about what it is. But I think in the entertainment space, it's going to be hard. And, this could be, when they say entertainment, that really could just be gossip style content. And hey, maybe there's a huge market for daily gossip subscriptions. I'm not sure, but that's not something I'm really into. The next one, launched in April 2021, provides product reviews across multiple niches. Notable positives of this business include efficient workflow, strong intent traffic driven primarily from search, and the diversified content that prevents over-reliance on any single video. Top video accounts for just 3.9% of total views. Okay, so that means they don't have a one-hit wonder review channel here. This business is reviewing products. Don't know which kind. We also don't know if it's faceless or not, but assuming they don't say that, it's probably, got some type of face in there. So you'd need to be experienced reviewing videos, and I will say, or reviewing products, and I will say that recording video content is a skill. Like, it's not easy. It's not easy for me to do. And you might notice I kind of stumble over my words and have to correct myself. I'm not a good video creator. I'm decent because I know what I'm talking about, and I hope that resonates through here in how I'm speaking to you guys and what you're receiving from me and the value you're getting. But I'm not a engaging person when it comes to video content. And mind you, I had to click the start and cut button 10 times before actually getting to where I'm at now in this take. So I would not want to be the person jumping into this. And the next two are both on religion and spirituality, right? There's an error because I'm not the best on-camera speaker. So, we got two of them here in the religion and spirituality space. YouTube channel provides high-quality spiritual content that deeply resonates with 109,000 subscribers, 66.7 viewers returning. That sounds pretty good. And the next one launched in 2020 at a 42x. This is the highest multiple in the list. The fast-growing YouTube channel features daily posts of a mix of normal and live videos. Video production is outsourced to a team of freelance video editors, video artists, and graphic designers. It's kind of interesting again, but I gotta say, I'm really probably not going to be too into these spaces here, but they could be good businesses. I do like the fact that this one has 66.7% of viewers being returning visitors, and that might be a KPI that is crucial to YouTube videos. I have not thought about this extensively in my YouTube experience, and success is very, very minimal. I certainly don't track it to any degree. But I think that would be a pretty good indicator, right, that the business exists without that channel risk if people are coming back to it. But now, how are they coming back to it? That's key. Are they, is YouTube showing them the videos, right? Are they subscribed to the channel and YouTube is like, hey, channel published a new video, right? But then if they determine that your videos aren't good, do they stop showing them to your subscribers? Or do people actually seek out your, Corey Religion and Spirituality channel on YouTube? I don't know. That's really something that you'd kind of have to flesh out as you got into it. So, yeah, on that note here, as we're winding it down, if you know anything about YouTube as a business model and you think there's any details I left out or looked over, let me know in the comments below. And if you have questions on any of these businesses or any of the things we discussed, drop them in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. So, I think that will wind it down, and I will call it a wrap on that note, guys. And hey, if you found this video helpful and insightful, smash that like button because it helps me out in the YouTube algorithm. I'll see you next time.